Hi, my name is Materialism, and today I'm going to talk about my proposal. The title is Analyzing Materialism Aspect in the Perspective of Humanity in the Pearl novel by Jhon Steinbeck. Without further explanation, I'm going to talk about the introduction. First, the background of the study. Human greed and rapacious self-interest are deleterious influence not only in the individual, but to society and the environment as a whole. Classical argument, as well as tenets of the judge-criticism tradition, point to aggressive pursuit of cupid notion and materialistic self-interest both as underlying cause of human suffering and an impediment to a truly flourishing society throughout recorded history. This article analyzes Maslow's hierarchy of need theory and integrates seminal psychological theories and research to define fundamental human needs and draft a framework to demarcate the boundary between human needs and one that go beyond reason and temperance. Some suggestions to prevent the condition of human greed are also discussed. 2. Statement of research question. Based on the background above, the research formula research question as follows. 1. Where are the materialism action that divide in the humanity perspective took in the novel? Second, how humanity should straighten the conflict in this novel, and the goals of the study. The goals of literature review is to gain an understanding of the existing research and debates relevant to humanity aspect in the Pearl novel and to present the knowledge in the form of a written report. Conducting a literature review helps you build a knowledge in your field. You will learn about important concepts, research methods, and experiment techniques that are used in your field. 2. Literature review. The 1 point. There are some studies genetic structuralism approach and having the similar topic with this research. Those research are done by some students of some university. They are 1. Steinbeck worldview about American society and American dream during the Great Depression in the minds of men. Steinbeck worldview. 2. Steinbeck's worldview toward the effect of materialism in the Mexican colonial era as reflected in the Pearl. 3. Character education in the perspective of humanistic theory. A case study in Indonesia by Yudi Harton. Theoretical framework. Theoretical framework. Materialism is a form of philosophical monism that holds the matter. Materialism is a form of philosophical monism that holds that matter is the fundamental substance in nature, and that all things, including the mental states and consciousness, are used methods that are primarily critical or speculative and have a significant historical element and as distinguished from the mainly empirical approach the natural science. Yet, unlike the science, it has no central discipline. The term humanist also describes the psychological position of humanism, which some anti-humanist scholars in the humanities reject. Now we're gonna move to research, design, and methodology. 1 point. Type of research. Type of research is the equipment applied in a certain work, study of research for a scientific purpose. According to Lincoln and Goba, the research is the key instrument itself in qualitative research. The researcher gathers data, observing data, and selecting data into a certain categories. In gathering data, analyze and interprets the data according to the knowledge or scheme research has on answering the research question. However, in conducting the research considered as the main instrument. The researcher plan the research, collect the data, structuring and interpreting the data, and reported the result of the analysis in accordance with the procedures. Second, the data collection. The research conduct data collection into several steps to collect the data in the novella. The first step, reading the novella carefully and truly get a deeper understanding. In this step, the researcher focus on understanding the main idea of the novella. Second, marking and recording some of words that and sentence related to the topic of the research that can be used as evidence. Researchers use question of the research to decide whether the expression or word is possible to be used as evidence. Third, giving description to the data. Based on the research question and literary review, the research described the data have been marked before. Later, the data categorized into the group. 4. Giving data into several topics of discussion. To answer the research question, the researcher puts the data into two groups. The first group label for answering the first question, while the second group label for answering the second question. The researcher also developed the group of data in two categories according to a certain indicators. Now we're gonna move up to data analysis. In this research, there were several steps to analyze the data. According to Creswell, the process of data analysis involves 6 steps. The following steps are: the first one is organizing and preparing the data for analysis. The data are collection of expression from the novella that the researchers collected and put into groups. Second step, reading through all the data. The researcher read the data thoroughly to get the general sense, information to grasp the meaning. Third step, running coding process to make the detailed analysis according to Rosman and Rails. Coding is the process of organizing raw material into some groups. Fourth step, using the coding to process create description related to the topic discussion. Fifth, developing description the topic of discussion that will be represented into qualitative narrative. 6. Interpreting the meaning of the idea. Interpretation of the data must be based on the researcher's own understanding, knowledge and schema about the topic. And interpreting data, the researchers also use information from the literature and theories. And that's all for my proposal explanation about the materialism that deviated in humanity perspective on the Pearl novella by Jhon Steinbeck. Thank you.